You're looking live at Capitol Hill. The House set to vote on the Lake and Riley Act this hour. The bill, named after a Georgia nursing student who was murdered by an illegal immigrant. It would require federal authorities to detain illegal immigrants accused of theft and violent crimes. It would be the first bill that could head to the president's desk. Joining us from the Hill before they head over to vote on that in just a few moments are two of the youngest Republicans in this new Congress. Arizona Congressman Abe Hamadeh and Texas Congressman Brandon Gill join us now. Congressman Gill, I'd love to start with you. Let's start with this. Would this bill have stopped Jose Ibarra, the murderer of Lake and Riley, before that terrible event ever occurred in Georgia?
It would, and Will, first of all, thanks for having us on the show. We hear a lot about bipartisanship from our Democrat colleagues across the aisle. The Lake and Riley Act would have saved Lake and Riley's life. It merely directs DHS to detain illegal aliens who are burglarizing American citizens on American territory. This should have been the easiest vote the Democrats take, all Congress, and yet a majority of Democrats voted against it. Whenever I think of their calls for bipartisanship, I think of the American people sent Republicans and President Trump to Washington to save this country. I don't believe in bipartisanship for the sake of bipartisanship. I believe in saving this country. I hope that Democrats will come across the aisle and work with us, but it's time to save the country.
We should point out that it did pass the Senate. It's headed back to the House. It got 63 votes in the Senate. It did earn the vote of some Democrats, like Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman. We'll see now how that is treated in the House. Congressman Hamadeh, I want to understand the details. So Congressman Gill tells us the details of this bill would have saved the life of Lake and Riley. What will it do with illegal immigrants who have committed crimes in their home country? That is a problem as well. Criminals from, say, Venezuela or Chile coming into our country. I know it's difficult to get their records when they're here illegally, but can this bill help stop people who have committed crimes before they got to America?
Absolutely, Will, and good to be with you, and congratulations on your new show. It's exciting to have you on this hour. Here, President Trump has always said from the beginning, we need to secure our border. I'm from the state of Arizona. We understand that these illegal immigrants are pouring across our southern border, especially under Joe Biden for the last 4 years. So many of them, we had no records of them. And what Biden did by allowing so many illegals from Venezuela, Chile, all these countries coming in, it really put our country at risk. But now with this new Lake and Riley Act, it's not going to allow these illegal immigrants who have criminal records to enter our country or seek asylum. And they've abused the asylum process for too long. And here in Arizona, we understand the firsthand effects of the border. We have the fentanyl coming in from the communist Chinese. We have the drug cartels that President Trump is intending to go to war with them. And I'm glad to see that foreign terrorist designation. I've been calling that for a long time. And if there's one war we should be fighting, it's to secure our country from these barbarians who are the drug cartels.
You point out stopping them before they get into the country, at the very least, not release these criminals once they're detained at some point here in America. This is all a step forward. I want to ask both of you, you're both younger than me. I think you're both in your early 30s. You're both new congressmen. And you're part of what many are calling as a youth movement when it comes to Republican Party, conservatives on college campuses everywhere. In my lifetime, conservatism has not been cool. Now, all of a sudden, and I don't know if you two are cool. I'll let the audience decide that over time as we get to know you. But you are emblems of what the Wall Street Journal writes, the rise of young Republicans on America's college campuses. They say when Donald Trump was first elected president, universities set out milk and cookies for rattled undergraduate college students who wore MAGA hats and were berated by classmates. This time around, those same hats are eliciting fist bumps and nods. I'll go to each of you quickly on this. Congressman Gill, do you see a shift in people your age and younger when it comes to the way they view conservatism or simply patriotism?
Absolutely. Young people, like the rest of the country, could see the difference between what Republicans had to offer and what Democrats had to offer. The choice was simple. It was censorship or free speech. It was inflation or economic prosperity. It was men in women's bathrooms and locker rooms or common sense. It was siding with innocent Israeli citizens or Hamas terrorists. And young people, just like everybody else, wanted a sane country. They wanted common sense. They wanted decency. And that's why they're moving in droves to the Republican Party. We absolutely welcome them. We are here to save the country. We're here to work for the American people and to put American first. And that's what young people and all Americans are looking for.
Really quickly, Congressman Hamadeh, I would have to think, as part of the list just rattled off by Congressman Gill, is also the embrace of masculinity, not as toxic, but masculinity as a virtue.
Absolutely. I served in the U.S. military. I'm a veteran, and as you saw under the Biden administration, the recruitment was terrible. Nobody wanted to join the military because they were focused on DEI. They were focused on the wokeness. When I was deployed overseas under both President Trump and Biden, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin's first action was to have a stand-down order so we can learn about the rise of right-wing extremism. And now you saw President Trump's first action was to allow the service members who were discharged under the COVID guidelines back in. And that's the difference in leadership style. So masculinity's back. Here we are. I always say it's amazing that we have to talk about so many of these issues like men and women's sports. I mean, I honestly think we're just bringing sanity back. So that's why I'm so excited about. The American people are with us, and I assure you the young people understand what's going on a lot better than people think.
Well, thank you for your service. I wish both of you luck in your new service to the country. Congressman Gill, Congressman Hamadeh. Appreciate you being on the Will Cain Show.
Thank you, Will.
Thanks.